Hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with Not John again.
That's right.
For the third week in a row.
Here I am.
It's Not John.
It's not me. It's not me either. So.
How much do you want to bet Produce will be the first to say hi?
$5.
It's a pretty.
Oh, bam! You owe me.
Second. Mrs. Nightmare was first.
Yep.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Wednesday Live with Not John.
You owe me $5.
Oh man, I didn't even pick a number. We didn't pick a number.
No,
yet.
I picked the number.
All right. So welcome to the stream, everyone. Here we are. It's Wednesday, and I'm here with Big Josh Vegan, Not John. John couldn't make it again. It's 3 weeks in a row. I think you've taken over for his role in this, pretty much. But you only have until a little bit, and then you gotta get going. So
yeah, I got about an hour.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Maybe we'll do this for an hour. Maybe we'll go more than an hour. I like how there's all these people in here, but it still says 0 people watching.
We're lagging behind a little bit.
How's it going for everybody? I mean, here right now, it's it's in high 30s Fahrenheit, and it's a gloomy day. But that's what you would expect here in Syracuse. We don't know. We don't know where John is. I think John's back at the farm. John was John's fine. He was here yesterday. We talked. Let me see. I helped him out with something. Got him a disc that he needed, and then he took off. He said, "I'm not going to make it tomorrow." And I said, "Well, maybe if you want, if you're free later on this week, we can do it another day, but not on Wednesday." So Wednesday's not good for John anymore. I don't know how that happened because he said it was good.
You're gonna have to start doing it. Well, you can't do it. You can't even do it a day early.
82 in Central Florida. That's like too hot for me.
Oh.
I like low 70s.
I like Florida.
Yeah, I like Florida.
I got a lot of family down there.
Yeah. Gloomy in the Netherlands too. Yeah. Past 9. Oh, it's 8 minutes past 9 a.m. What? It can't be.
Past 9 a.m.
There's no way that it's 8 minutes past 9 a.m. in Netherlands. It's got to be nighttime in Netherlands right now. Oh, you passed the EKG blood work. Nice.
That's
nice.
awesome.
I do have a box here that came today. I know I did my unboxing video yesterday, but I got another. It's a pretty heavy box of some stuff that I'm excited to open. So we'll do that on this live stream in a little bit.
I like stuff.
I do too. And I really like the shirt that I got yesterday from the Vegan Vampire. Check that out. Wolf and Veggies. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome.
So what's new with you? You're still eating healthy, doing your blood tests, and we just did a documentary with you. Well, we watched one with you, so we're gonna be posting that video, in the upcoming.
Yeah,
future.
I feel like I got a couple of videos coming up real soon, and then I think I guess I was talking to you earlier in the week, just kind of about doing like my life story, kind of starting where I was, when I was a kid, and then growing up, and
that would be good
from there
too
to
for
now.
the Q&A, like Produce said.
Yeah,
he's type 2. Well, recovering, and he's almost reversed it already, but
yeah, I feel like I'm it's somewhere in between like here and here to being that close to not having diabetes anymore. Well, I shouldn't say not having diabetes, but not being diabetic type 2 anymore.
Right.
I guess it's always going to be in my system, but
you got to reverse it, get it under control.
Yeah,
and we're doing that right now, so it's actually happening. That's awesome.
Produce 1,000,000% vegan for life. Once I go in one direction, I don't go back.
Yeah. Kind of like Harry Styles.
Yeah. Plus, I feel good. I'm happier. I'm more compassionate. I feel like I'm just an all-around better person being vegan.
Yeah, and I can see it too. We've
yeah.
been going to the gym every day.
Yeah.
Eating good.
I missed yesterday.
Yeah.
Somebody went without me because I had to go to work.
Well.
But we'll get there tonight. I can't wait. I'm actually excited.
Yeah, so you're doing something right when you're excited to go to the gym and you got all this extra energy.
Because I remember the first couple of times we went, I was like, I could probably just not go. And now I'm like, I'm upset that I couldn't make it to the gym yesterday because I had to work and I didn't get there earlier in the day like I should have.
Right.
So.
Sandra has a good question. When are we going to do the appointment with your doctor?
Actually, I have a date.
Nice.
I actually have a date.
Josh has a date.
With the doctor. I think it's not until mid-April.
That's fine. That gives you enough time to reverse this monster of a disease and then go there and prove them all that you can do it on diet alone.
I can't find it. They just called me today, actually, when I was on my way home from work, and they wanted to schedule it for mid or late, I think it was like April 20-something. And I was like, I think I moved it 2 weeks earlier. It might even be like April 9th or something like that. I didn't see it right away.
Nicole, this is how Nicole is spending her 15-minute break. Hanging out with us. Wow.
Yeah. What a great way to enjoy some time together.
Yeah. Someone wanted to know what it was like to hang out with Richard. Yeah, we had fun. We met up with him at a vegan restaurant in Toronto. So he was already friends with Anne Marie, and she gave him a text message. He rode his motorcycle about an hour and a half to get there to hang out with us. We ate. Then we went to that coffee shop and did a live, and then we all kind of split up. We went home. He went home. Yeah. He was nice.
He was quiet.
Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice, but very quiet.
Yeah. It was cold out too, but he's got like a heated jacket and gloves and everything. So.
Yeah, wind blocker, mitts.
Yeah, he had the whole shebang. So. Yeah. So I don't know. I got this box here, and I'm gonna open it. I know the company it's from, but I don't know exactly what they sent me. It's kind of heavy too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to move over.
It might be heavy because it's it needs to be refrigerated, so it's probably like a bunch of ice packs. The reason why it's heavy, there's probably one item in it. No, I'm kidding.
34 ice packs.
So this is from the company Bitchin' Sauce. They always hook me up. And they got like different sauces. They're I can't really compare them to anything because they're their own unique thing. It's not quite like hummus, and it's not quite like a cheese dip. It's like a vegan. It's an all vegan company, but they have these new dessert ones. So I'm hoping, because they messaged me and I'm like, I love those dessert ones. So hopefully we got. Oh wow! Oh wow! I don't know if you guys can see that, but we have lots of sauces. Who wants to come out here and have a sauce party with us? All right, oops,
saucing.
We're saucing with Post Malone. Oh, just kidding. So, okay, so this would be the original. The original is, like I said, there's really nothing I can compare it to. It's got, a little bit of nutritional yeast in it. I think it's got some liquid aminos, stuff like that. And it's really good. They have all kinds of different flavors. They have the buffalo dip, and this one.
Sauce or is it hummus? There.
It's not. It's not hummus. It's sauce. It's like.
I feel like I've never had any of these.
It is like It's like a spread. It's like a dip. So it goes good with like bread or chips or whatever. This is the buffalo. So they have two. It's all the same brand, but they have two names. So this is their original bitchin' sauce, but I think some people were complaining because of the name. So they have this dip is nuts. And this is the buffalo one. They got a pesto one. This is the Bombay one.
Wow.
Yeah, these are.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and this is the hot one. I try not to get too much the heat. I don't like the heat.
I do.
What else? We roasted green chili papita. They have this one at Walmart last time I checked. Oh, we're still going here. Like, let me just, because I'm gonna have to refrigerate these afterwards. I just want to make sure I can put them back in there. Let's see what else we have here. We have the green onion dip. This one is the spinach artichoke. That's really good. I like the packaging too. Like,
yeah.
That dude's face is just like, yeah, he's smiling. What else we have here? Cilantro chili. Chipotle. Everybody here says Chipotle or Sean Toodle.
Sean.
Okay, so here's where. Okay, so I've had all of those before, but I was really impressed with the sweet ones that they have, the new ones, and I sent them a message like a week or two ago when we were at Green Planet Grocery here in Syracuse, and I was basically like, you gotta get these guys to carry your sweet ones, and so I hooked them up with Caleb, my friend Caleb, who is the buyer for that company, grocery store. So they have a sweet apple pie. This is like, you could take a spoon and straight up eat this, or put it on like, I don't know, like it's like an apple pie you could put on toast. What, I don't know.
You might want to lock these up.
They have, well, you can have whatever. Salted caramel, and my absolute favorite. This is, you got to keep this away from me, but the chocolate. It's like a brownie batter. It's like you can't just eat one little spoonful. You got to eat the whole. But no, I'm just kidding. I'm not. But
he's not. Nope.
The chocolate. Oh my god! And they hooked me up because I told them chocolate was my favorite. Wow! They gave me. This is all chocolate. Holy. Look at this, guys. Who wants to have a chocolate party? We'll just spread it all over our body and eat. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway,
okay.
Bitchin' sauce. If you guys see this, pick it up. Check it out. They have tons of flavors. I would say the original is good. They're all good, but like if you don't like spices, don't get the hot one because it is pretty spicy. But
you can save the spicy one for me.
Well, here's what I'm going to do. Since there's so many of these brownie ones, I thought maybe we could take a little taste test. And I foreshadowed this, so I brought 2 spoons up and a napkin. So
I want a whole spoon.
Well, there's no double dipping, so grab as much as you want.
That's what I'm saying.
Ain't no double dipping. Ain't no double dipping. I can't even say it now.
Dipping.
Ain't no double dipping on my shift. On my watch. All right.
That.
Which one do you want? You can get this one. That's actually from.
Follow Your Heart.
Yeah, Follow Your Heart sent me those. That went with the yogurt. I told that story yesterday. Actually, the yogurt.
I'm gonna break it on accident. This isn't gonna be strong enough to.
Are you guys ready? Nicole, are you still with us for the 15 minutes?
Nicole's absolutely right. Do
2
you see
spoons
that?
for Josh.
Yeah, where's your spoon?
I don't.
Oh,
it's
man.
like oh my god, it's like so like fresh off the press. They probably just made these and gave them to me. And they had no idea you were going to taste them too, but...
Yeah, you take your spoonful and I'll just...
All right. I'm just going to have... I've had this before, so I'm just going to take a big...
That's what you're going to take?
Yeah, that's all right now. I still got to eat...
Before you put that in your mouth, you should put more on there.
No, I'm good.
That's crazy.
Oh my god.
All right. I'll take what I want, and then you can just have the rest. You ready?
I'm gonna not ruin my dinner. But it's just as good as I remembered.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. I didn't mean to open my mouth. Wow. So,
all right.
If they happen to want to just send just a case of the chocolate...
Well, we have a lot of it that's going to go in the refrigerator, and you can grab one, bring it to work with you. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, that wouldn't that be fun? Yeah. You subscribe to my channel and you get a tasteogram from my channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello, Cynthia. Hello, everybody that just joined us.
Wow, you missed that though.
Hey, Laura.
Wow.
Yeah, that was really good. If you guys just joined us, you missed something amazing.
Yeah.
And
you might want to rewind and just play that on loop over and over.
Yum.
I would like to, in real life, be able to play that on loop.
What's for dinner? I haven't even had breakfast yet.
Who needs anything else?
Yeah. I still got to eat my breakfast.
We need another case of that.
Where's Rachel? Rachel went to go look for some plants, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I need to go to the kitchen and get 10 more spoons.
You definitely could use some of those for a stir fry. Probably, maybe the Bombay, maybe even the original would go well with that. You know, I've made rice before, like a rice bowl with other things, veggies in it, and then put some of that and stirred it all up. It's really good. It's almost like a pudding, but it's more like a brownie batter. It's almost.
Oh man.
It's
like better than cake batter or brownie batter.
Yeah.
Or anything chocolate I've ever had.
I wonder if you baked it, if it would turn into a cake.
I don't think there's any reason to not just eat it with a straw.
Yeah, it's not quite like the chocolate hummus, Deneen. So this is a little bit different. In my opinion, it's a lot better.
Way better.
Yeah.
Not saying that the chocolate hummus and whoever makes that isn't good, but that was like...
That dip frozen into popsicles.
I'm
you could make a fudgy, yeah, like a
a
fudgicle or something. I wonder if that would work.
I feel like that right there would make my daughter change her mind about...
Oh yeah,
even thinking about not being vegan.
You could bring that.
We have to get her. We have to get her to try that.
I'll tell you this much. Well, this is kind of like a little spoiler to the video that we filmed. I don't want to tell you guys what documentary we watched because I know one of you guys asked that question. I want to wait for his video to drop. But during that documentary that he watched, he started texting
my whole family.
His whole family, basically saying like he wants to talk to his daughter's mom and say she's gonna be vegan now.
Yeah.
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 So,
I told her. Yeah. I told her she needs to be.
And I'm working on a video I'm actually editing 2 videos right now. I gotta edit my video for tomorrow and your video. So if I can get that all done, then maybe we'll. I don't know if we'll have time, but maybe I can upload your video tonight.
Yeah.
And in that video,
if it made it, if it doesn't, and if it can't go up tonight.
Can you guys hear him okay when he's way back there?
I tend not to go all the way back there anymore.
I'm just saying, if you can, then that's fine. But I know that this microphone... I think I got my new microphone in the mail today. So I ordered
yeah, I don't know how you do that.
What?
I can't do that. When a box comes in the mail to me... Well, first of all...
Should I go open it right now?
There. When a box comes to him in the mail, it sits there. And it drives me insane. Because a box comes to me in the mail, and I'm like...
Yeah.
Open up.
Okay. Well, maybe I should go down and grab that and open it. So I'm pretty sure it's my microphone. I ordered a microphone. I had a bunch of gift cards that I had from around Christmas and stuff. So I ordered a microphone for my camera because mine is not the greatest. I could point out a lot of parts of my videos where it's just not ideal and it makes a lot of extra noise that it shouldn't be making. So I ordered a new one. It came. I shot a couple videos with it, only to find out that it was not working. Even the last video that I uploaded, which was my, I respond to your guys' assumptions of me. I did that whole video. That video probably took almost an hour to film, to go through them all and answer all the questions. And then when I went through, the sound was so low you couldn't hear it. So, I mean, obviously I had to go into my editor and boost the sound 3 times. I had to boost it 3 times and do a little bit of, get some of that background noise out of there. It just was not ideal. It worked, but we also went down to a vegan restaurant about an hour from us, and we filmed a whole video there, which I think it looks amazing, but the sound was the same with this brand new microphone, which is supposed to be the best of the best. And I contacted the company, Rode, and they gave me some troubleshooting, and none of that worked. And they were like, well, it might be some internal wiring issue. You can send that back to us, and we will. I'm like, I'm not going to send that back to us. I'm going to return it. I just bought it, So I'm not going to send it to you to fix it and then send it back to me. I'm sending it back to who I bought it from.
Yeah.
So let's hope that the one that I just got downstairs is not probably one of the small percent that was broken. So hopefully I have some really good sound from, going forward. So anyway, that was probably boring, but
it's never boring.
That's the microphone life, Bye,
Taylor.
Bye, Taylor. Thanks for joining us. Oh, you're kind of like Josh. Josh hasn't slept either since yesterday morning. He needs some sleep too.
Yeah, yes. I got up early. I'm always up early, though, even when I go to sleep late.
Graven says, did your brother quit YouTube? I miss Katie's cute little videos. I don't know. I've asked him a few times. I think he really got discouraged when that new COPPA law came out. And, I don't know. He just wasn't really seeing any growth. So I think he got frustrated and kind of stopped. But I'll tell him that next time
Nicole.
I see him.
For
Nicole,
15 minutes
thank you for those 15 minutes hanging out with us. I feel special, and have a great day. We'll see you soon. So go get the new mic. I could do an unboxing of my new mic and talk about it for all you techies out there. Let's do it. All right.
It's your live.
Yeah.
You want me to go get it for you?
Where did I put that? Oh, I put it back in there. The brownie batter.
Are you getting more spoons? Is that what you're doing?
If you want another one.
I mean, yeah. A lot more spoons. Guys, I'm going to take all the chocolate and hide it. It's going to be mine. I'm going to have the rest of it. That stuff is so good. I'm just saying. Bye, Nicole. Sorry you only had 15 minutes. I wish you could stay. Don't tell them. But later tonight, when they all go to sleep, the dogs and him, he's coming back. Don't tell him. We weren't even talking about any of that chocolate.
You know what's going to be funny? If this isn't actually a microphone. Okay, so here's what I did. I got your favorite spoon that I own. This is this is the Netflix and Chilled by Ben and Jerry's that they sent.
Look at that spoon, though.
Yeah,
will you just look at it?
It's almost like a stealth fighter. It's made out of the same material.
That spoon is...
See that? You can see your reflection almost.
Yeah. I love that spoon.
So there's that one. But I also got him a Big Josh vegan spoon.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Look at that.
Which one do we... which one?
I mean, just to see the difference between the spoons that Josh has... He went up.
Actually, I feel like there's one maybe in between this one and that one that I normally eat with.
Oh, there is. It's probably the one that I had right here.
Nope. There's one that's a little bigger than that, but still a little smaller than that one. What are we doing?
Probs.
Do I get all of those spoons? Are you having more? What are we doing?
No, I don't. I need to eat I need to eat some real food first.
Oh, man.
I'm really trying to watch my figure, going to this gym and all that stuff, and that's not going to help me right now.
I got a good figure though Just kidding.
We're opening this.
Totally saying, give me some chocolate. I get to have more, right?
How to cure diabetes.
This is the cure. Oh, look at it. Do you want me to just use the small spoon?
You can have the rest of that. They gave me so many.
Yeah, but I don't need all of this right now. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
My sugar would be like 900.
All right, here we go.
Is there even sugar? There's probably not even sugar in here. Yeah,
I don't know.
Wow, there's actually hardly any.
We got the video mic NTG. This is the newest of the Rode, and it's supposed to be the best. So as far as like an onboard camera microphone, and the price point is pretty good too. So let's.
This is hard.
Let's open it.
It's a really big spoon.
I ordered it on Amazon, but I made sure I got it from a different dealer, a different company, just so they wouldn't repackage the same one and send it right back to me. So there's no way I'm gonna. Oh wait, it's already open up here. I hope they didn't repackage this. Anyway, there's no way that I can test it out right now because I'm talking to you. I'm just trying to open the microphone, get it out of here without ripping the box in case.
Well, don't break it.
In case I have to. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, they gave me a little bit of meth.
They sent. That's incredible that they can mail that stuff now.
Okay, so yeah. All right, so this has a bunch of new features on it. Like I don't know how many of you actually know or care about like this kind of stuff because I don't normally talk about it in my videos. You only see it the end result of what it actually did. So this microphone will actually come right out, and I could use it as a USB as a microphone, kind of like what we're using right now, and I can talk right into the computer with it. On the camera itself, it used to the cord used to go in the back, and that was bad because when you have it on the camera and you're trying to look through it hits you in the head. It's no good. So what they did was they put the little plug on the side, and they also made it so you can move it forward, so that doesn't happen anymore, which is a really cool feature. It's got a good shock mount, so you won't hear that noise that you hear on mine right now, and it also has like a step up, so you can boot. It's the only one that has it. It's like a seamless, so you won't hear it going click click click. So if you need it to get louder, you can make it get louder. And what it also does, it records 2 tracks of audio. So if there is an audio where somebody yells or there's really loud noise in the background and it peaks and it sounds really bad, you can use the other audio which will record a little bit lower than that. So you always have like a buffer for that. So, and if it's really really loud, you can press the button up here and it'll go -20. And there you go. Self-explanatory. So hopefully this works on my camera. Here's an old one that I got from them. I haven't used this one in a while, but I got this one is being held together with a hair tie right now because it broke off the shock mount. It broke when I was at Expo West a few years back, and right now I just use like the little fuzzy one, same one that Craig uses. So I'm excited about this because if this isn't broken like my other one was, it should be really nice sound, guys. So I'll definitely test that out as soon as we're done with this live stream here.
Soon.
So, what'd you think? Did you finish it or
no? I didn't.
That's probably a good thing.
It is a good thing.
Do you have another? Because I'll let you try one of the other ones.
Yeah, this one hasn't been used yet.
Actually, maybe we can. You know what we should do later on? What we should do is maybe try it with chips downstairs or something.
Yeah.
Or like on toast or veggies. Veggies probably be the healthiest.
Well, probably not the chocolate one on veggies, but
no,
yeah.
no, I'm
Some
talking about
of
like
those other ones,
the other
like
ones.
The
Yes.
garlic one. Oh man.
Okay, Stephanie Alvarez. Cool. I like that. Thank you for the super chat. $1.99. I appreciate it. Ash says, do you have an audio interface? On my camera, Okay, so this right here will plug right into my camera. Is that what you're talking about? I could also probably plug it into there, but so this is a new cord too, because most cords just kind of hang down. This is almost like, one of those wire ties it like on a bag of bread or something, and that's good because you can put it how you want it, and it won't like get in your way or anything or like kind of hang down. It'll stay however you put it, and so that's good. And then this is what will charge the battery for this. The battery is supposed to last for 30 hours. the microphone turns on when your camera turns on, and it turns off when your camera turns off. Whereas before, I have an older microphone over here, you have to turn it on. And a lot of times I would forget to turn it off and the battery would die, or I would forget to turn it on when I was recording, and I'd have awesome video with no sound. So...
Right after you did the whole video.
But this USB will go right into the computer, and you can use this as a USB mic, kind of like this one right here. So that's good. And from what I've seen, the quality of this sound is really good. I did a lot of research on it. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, people talking about it, and this looks like it's the best one, especially for the price.
Okay, I'm gonna stop licking the spoon now.
Don't lick the spoon, Josh.
Yeah,
I'm just
there's
gonna put
nothing
that back
left.
in there
There's
for now.
nothing left on that spoon. I got it all.
I just think I was unfortunate to get like a broken one the first time around. So the chances that I get another broken one are probably not that good. If this one's broken too, I might at that point
Bye,
decide
Stephanie.
not to
Stephanie's
get the
gotta
same
go.
one.
We wish you could stay longer too.
Stephanie, yeah. So thank you for being on the stream. You can
Yeah.
always watch this later on. They stay up there on the channel. So have a good day. There, I'm just gonna set that aside over here for later.
Ooh, Denver. That's awesome. My cousin's actually out in Denver.
Denver Co.
That's awesome.
So now what?
I'd like to go to Colorado.
I like Colorado. I went there in 2008.
Oh, you should just rub it in. World traveler over here.
Well, it had nothing to do with this either.
Really?
That was how that was where I went to training for when I was an investigator.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet that was cool.
Yeah, I really liked Colorado. Where I stayed was kind of, it was just a hotel, and right across the street from the hotel was where we trained. But right next to us was like a whole Target and a bunch of other things. And on the weekend, because I was there for like 2 weeks, and on the weekend we all got together, and one night we went out to Denver, which we didn't really do much. And I don't know if there was any vegan restaurants. This was back in 2008, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
But we did go up to Estes Park, and on the way to Estes Park, a couple of us broke off from the other group, and we went to the Stanley Hotel, which was the inspiration for the movie The Shining,
Okay.
Stephen King. And that was really awesome.
I'd like to see a show at Red Rock. From what I hear, it's
Let's
probably
go.
one of the best venues around. My cousin actually runs either a section of the airport there or one or two.
Well, my
of the
uncle can beat up your
restaurants.
uncle.
I mean, maybe.
just
Maybe.
Oh, man. So,
Happy early birthday.
happy birthday, Graven. Estes Park, yes. Yes, I was there very, very, very briefly. I don't remember too much about it. And I took pictures on my phone back then, but back then, the phones were a little bit different than they are now. So those pictures now are like that big. They're like that much. You blow them up and it's all pixelated. It's
Yeah.
horrible. So I'd like to go again now and take some better pictures.
Well, let's do it. Let's road trip from here to Colorado and back. Actually, my
We could
aunt
do
and
that. We
uncle are
could
doing that.
stop at like in Chicago and all the other states, hit up a bunch of different vegan restaurants and stuff.
Yeah. My cousin's in North Carolina. My other cousin's in North Carolina right now. He's got a job interview in Indianapolis to be a traveling.
Never been
tech.
there.
It's kind of on the way. So if he gets, we should just go.
All right.
We should road trip.
New Life wants to know, how do companies choose to send products to you? Well, it's not like anybody can just get a product sent to you. You got to put the work in and grow a channel. And for me, I started doing YouTube, and when people started watching it, and we were initially a cooking channel, and so I got cooking under my belt, and I do unboxing videos, I do product reviews and stuff like that. People see that, people see the numbers that you have, and this is not only is it my passion, but it's also turned into a business. So because of that, people will send me product, and I can work with them in that respect. So that's how to do it. And before this, when I was a little kid, I really, really wanted to be a professional skateboarder because I wanted free skateboard shoes and pants and clothing and skateboards. I'm like, I want to get sponsored, so I get like, free stuff. And it just happened in a different way. Like I did get free skateboards and stuff from an actual professional skater because of, what I do and stuff. And
you'd have to go to my Instagram to watch the flip.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. If you go to Josh's, I have a skateboard that's not put together down in the basement, and I do a couple of tricks on it, and he's got it on his video. Yeah. Do you ever get sent something non-vegan from a company? It's very rare, but there were a couple times I did get something that wasn't vegan from a company. Yes. I think it happened maybe twice. I think one of them had honey in it or something, and then one of them was like an Indian food sauce that had milk in it, and I was like,
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Actually, that's something that probably in a couple weeks maybe we can do.
Could I do a Zeke update video? Yeah. I guess that sounds fun. We could do a pup date. We'll do another pup date. Oh, Nicole's back. How'd you get? What happened? Are you on your half-hour break now?
Well, I'm not gonna leave early today, so I got an extra 15-minute break.
I should also do a video like how to, like, I know a lot of people have been asking, like you guys just asked, like, how do you get products sent to you? How to start a YouTube channel? And some people were telling me I should be like I should like coach people on that kind of stuff, like how to go vegan and stay vegan. And like right now, what I'm doing for you, I could probably help other people too.
Right.
Like I'm helping you, like, and just in 2 months, I can tell that you are way healthier, way more energy, feeling better.
Absolutely. Yeah, because normally I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
You got a YouTube channel that's doing really well.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, and I really enjoy sharing.
How much should I charge for coaching, guys? I got 25 years experience.
He can't start charging yet, though.
Oh, that's awesome. So Nicole's getting paid to watch us talk. To watch Chris and not John talk about vegan baddies.
That's awesome.
Oh, two vegan baddies. Okay.
150 an hour. That's
nice.
That's a pretty good rate.
$3,000 for 90-day results. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. You just got to stick with it, though. I don't want people being like, well, I ate what you told me to eat after I ate what I normally eat, and, it's just not working. If you are given something vegan, should we throw it out? I think you're trying to say if you're given something non-vegan, should you throw it out or give it to someone else? I feel like I'm poisoning them. I'd rather throw it out. What about your thoughts? Yeah, I kind of feel the same way, but instead of like throwing something out like that,
even donate
it to like a food pantry or something like that. Because it's already made and there's a lot of people that aren't vegan. I think a food pantry would be great for something like that. But I know what you're talking about because I could have very easily taken some of the things, that I've got within the last how many years I've been doing this and just given them to my parents. But then I start thinking, I'm like, well, I don't want my parents to eat this kind of stuff. I don't want to give that to them. I'd rather, donate it to somebody else. And there was an occasion where I ended up finally throwing something away. I had it laying around for so long and I didn't want it in my house and I didn't end up finding anyone to give it to. And on cleaning day, I tossed it. So, but yeah, there's homeless people that could benefit from it. So, Lucy says free consultation. $75 per session is what I have paid a coach before. I feel like I would be a good coach. I help you with a lot of things. Yeah. And any questions, I'm always there to help because I want you to succeed.
I feel like most therapists make about $100 an hour.
Well,
so if
I
you're
should probably
coaching, plus it's almost
200.
like a therapy session, you should at least I would say 200.
No. I really want to help people too. I mean, I feel like I already am, but
I would empty my bank account.
reconnected successful. Okay.
Are we back?
Yeah, I think we're back. Great coach.
There's no question that you're a great coach.
Well, the thing is I've done everything, and I felt like I don't want to charge people, and I've done everything thus far for free. But I'm like, maybe I need to, turn this into like a business, so I'm not like a broke joke. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened to the stream, but I just got a notification that we got disconnected for a second there. So hopefully everything is strong and you can still hear me. I don't know what's going on here. Shouldn't be happening. Am I a patient person? It depends. I've pretty much been a patient person in most situations, but there are times when I'm not. I don't like being in traffic. I'm not very patient when I'm in traffic. But there's a lot of other things that I'm patient about. I mean, I've been patient with my movie. My movie has been in the works now for a while, and I wanted to have it done over a year ago, but I had to be a little bit more patient on that, and take things as they go, and take the roadblocks as they came at me. So, the curse of the new mic. Am I good with kids? I don't know. It depends how old. I really don't. I can't be around crying babies. It just pierces my brain.
That's not true. Well, crying babies maybe, but when Eva was born.
Yeah, I'm good around kids. Like, I'll tell you this. When I lived in Florida, it weirds me out. It's awkward, but I used to be a kid, but it's just awkward. I mean, being around kids, and stuff like that. I don't know.
Other people's kids.
When I was 19, 20, I lived on my own in Florida, and then I ended up living with my friend Jeremy, who you guys have probably seen. He's the one that had the kidney transplant. But we lived down there in Florida, and he lived with his girlfriend and her family. So it was the mom. The dad wasn't in the picture. It was the mom, the sister who Jeremy was dating at the time, the brother who was a teenager, and then the little daughter who was like 7 years old. And the mom didn't really pay attention to the kids and was either out at a casino or whatever, but never around. So Jeremy would take her with us when we had to do things. And I remember at one point, I just felt like I'm here with this 7-year-old girl, and I had to like make sure that somebody was taking care of her. And I'm like, I'm not a babysitter. I've never but if it wasn't for me, like nobody would be watching this poor girl. And I remember we were out skating somewhere, and Jeremy was like, he went off somewhere, and I'm just like, hey, come with me. Come with me. No, don't go in traffic. No, stay with me. And like, here I am babysitting, which I've never really done before. But if it wasn't for me making that responsible decision, then she'd have nobody looking after her. And, so I find myself like, time and time again, looking after this little kid because nobody else was. So yeah, and then obviously I have nieces and nephews, and no, I only have one nephew. I have three nieces and one nephew. And I'm pretty good with them, like with Katie, who is the oldest, and Macy, just playing silly little games with them, stuff that I used to like to do when I was little. And I'm the oldest of the four of us, the four siblings. And I used to do things even when I was little, when I was like 9 or 10, to my, for my little sister and brothers and stuff. Like I remember my youngest brother, Brian, Katie's dad, around Christmas time, This is back in the day, by the way. This is back in the early 80s. So we had the rotary phones. There was no cell phones. There was no cordless phones. It was rotary phones. And there was a way that, I forgot how to do it now, but you dial some number, and then you hang up, and it's got a weird tone, and then you hang up again, and then your own phone will ring. So that's what would happen. And then my brother Pat, who is my next youngest brother, but older than Brian, he was in on it with me, and I would hide down in the basement on the phone down that my dad had down there, and the phone would ring, and I would make this funny little voice, and I pretended I was like one of Santa's helpers, like the elf, and I said my name was Sam. I'd be like, "Hi, Brian," and I would talk to my little brother Brian, and so to make sure he was being good when he was being babysat and stuff. And I would talk to him for an hour, just being like, "Yeah, I'm hanging out with Santa right now, and you better be good, and what do you want for Christmas?" and all this stuff. And dude, he believed it straight up. So I don't know.
Yeah, he is good with kids. You were, like I said, ever since Eva was a baby, you've been good with her. I've always been good with kids, but kids really look at me as more of like a jungle gym. Because I'm freaking huge.
Yeah, and I'm more of I never grew up. I'm still a kid. Yeah. I still have all those fun things.
Yeah.
I was teaching myself to play, some... I kind of haven't done it in a little bit, but I bought a keyboard. I wanted to teach myself piano to play some things, and I played a few different songs. And Brian has a piano at his house. He doesn't play the piano, but he's got one at his house because my aunt and uncle were getting rid of their piano years ago. We went there and picked it up, and Brian's got a nice piano in his house. So it's in Katie's playroom. And I went in there, and I started playing the song, and I'm like, "Do you know what song this is?" And she's just looking at me. She goes, "Uh-uh." And it was "Let It Go" by in the movie Frozen. And then when I got to that one part where it's "Let it go, let it go," I got to that part, and I played it, and she goes, "Let it go." I'm like, "Yes."
Yeah.
I mean, she didn't I didn't convince her on the first part of it, but I got it. She got it on the second. Did I ever tell him the truth? Yeah, I think eventually he knew. I mean, he knows now, obviously. Yeah, that was.
If he didn't, he
1980s prank. Yeah. Linda, that's fine. You got to go pick up your sister. You got to go pick up her sister. Whatever. Fine. I'm kidding.
Well, bye, because I won't be here when you get back.
Am I that much older than my siblings? So I'm a little more than 2.5, almost 3 years older than my next brother, and then I'm 6 years older than my brother that I was just telling you that I was doing that, and then I'm 8 years older than my sister. So yeah, I mean yeah. My parents had 4 kids. I'm the oldest. But yeah, growing up in the 80s, that was amazing. And like I said, I have all these over here. I got all these VHS tapes and stuff that I need to transfer onto the computer. And once I get some good footage on the computer, I plan on doing some more stories where I tell a story around whatever happened in that incident. And, I tell it to you now, and I actually show you some actual footage of what I'm talking about. So I think that'll be fun. Drive patiently like Chris. I'm good at driving patiently. I don't like I don't like sitting in traffic. But where I live, it's not bad. I'm talking about when you go to New York City, D.C., or L.A. I mean, that is just horrible.
I can drive in anything. I am most definitely not a patient driver.
Yeah. Are we the same age? Are you talking about Josh and I? No. Josh would be my youngest brother's age.
Yeah. Brian and I are probably almost as...
You're actually a little bit... You're like a couple months older than him. No, you're like almost a year older than him.
1981.
And he's 82.
Yeah.
When Brian was born, he was like a month old when we left him home by himself. No, we left him with a babysitter, and we went to see E.T. for the first time ever in the movie theaters, and that was amazing. Poor Brian didn't get to go because he was a little baby.
I'm 38.
So it sounds like a lot of other people have 3 brothers too. I'm one of the brothers. I have 2 brothers and a sister. Josh is 20. We're always 23. So how many years have we been 23? That's the question.
That's funny.
How did I meet Josh? I met Josh years and years ago through a family member, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, best. We are the best friends.
Well, now that John's not here, no.
Produce. Do I get road rage, Chris?
No, that's a lie. He does.
I try not to.
Have a great day, Graven. Thanks for joining us. Have fun with your pug.
Bye, Graven. I try to stay really calm behind the wheel. It's just sometimes, I think just in life in general, for instance, there were two cars, both headed this direction. I was waiting to pull out, and the one in front saw me, and she was like, oh, I'll pull forward. Waved and everything. I was like, I'll pull forward to let you out. So she pulled forward.
Oh, and happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday. So she pulled forward, and I went to pull out, and the one right behind her zipped up and stopped right in front of me.
That was Toronto road rage.
That was...
Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, like I get road rage too, but like I feel when I'm driving, you're in a car, you're in a vehicle, and there's a lot of other vehicles around you. So anytime there's this stupid situation like that of why I would get upset or road rage, it's for a good reason, because your life is on the line. It's not like, you're walking in the mall and somebody bumps into you. It's like, oh, excuse me, whatever, I'm not going to get road rage. But when you're in a car, somebody could end your life because of something stupid that they're doing, and because of that, and maybe because I have people in the car with me or whatever, when somebody does something, like I get extra angry about stuff like that. I don't know. I think you're the same way, because it's different.
I'll tell you what.
They could kill you.
Road rage sometimes, verbally when I'm driving, can be bad. One time I got rear-ended. It was about maybe a couple of days after my daughter was born, and it was late, and at the time I was married, and my ex-wife hadn't gotten sleep in the couple of days that we were home, so she needed sleep, and I needed to take Eva for a ride. So I put her in the car, I took her for a ride, I stopped at a red light, and the light was completely red, and the car behind me just smacked right in. I was sitting still. It's not like I was going anywhere. At that point in time, I turned, I checked on my daughter. She was okay. And without thinking, I got out of the car and I started charging for that car. It was literally a couple days after my daughter was born, first car ride outside of the house after she came home from the hospital, and I immediately saw red after making sure that she was okay.
Yeah.
I looked up halfway to the car that hit me, and it was this little old lady, white, poofy hair, and she was like, "I'm so sorry." I immediately turned right back around. I opened up the door, rechecked my daughter. Everything was okay. We called the police, did the report, and I immediately calmed down.
Yeah.
By far the second worst road rage I've ever had.
That same thing happened to my brother Brian when Katie was even littler than she is now. Some guy actually crashed into him, and they got in a bad crash and spun out. And Brian got out, and it was an old guy. It was really old guy.
Well, your initial thought is it's some young kid not paying attention. So it's like, yeah. I mean, I try not to think like that anymore now. I always try to be calm, but sometimes it just doesn't happen.
My dad has never, he's the most calm person. Ever since I was growing up, he's always calm, never road rage, never yelled, nothing like that. Yeah. My mom, on the other hand, her version of it, she's just so funny, but she would get mad at people and be like, "You dippy broad." That was the extent of her,
That's so funny. Thanks, Recycle. Me too. I actually have to get going.
Oh, yeah, you got to go pick her up.
Yeah. Time to pick up Eva and go to dinner.
Maybe you should bring that and let her taste that.
You have a lot of it, and I feel like...
We do have a lot of it.
We should have her do it here.
Like,
I should let her try that.
Like on video?
There's not a lot left.
Like, don't even tell her it's vegan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's save it.
She doesn't really know what that is.
Plus, this one, we should just save probably for me anyways.
So the other day, the video that I'm going to be editing for you, we were on our way. We were with Eva, and we were on our way to go eat at the place. I don't want to give it straight away because I want the video to be a surprise. But we went to go eat, and I made the mistake of like, oh, we're going to go get vegan this. And she goes, ew, I don't want that. And I was like, oh, I mean, you're going to get the regular one with the regular, and then we went there and Josh ordered a vegan version and gave it to her, didn't say anything. And she started eating it. And I was like, Eva, do you like it? And she's like, yes, it's good. And I'm like, awesome. Yep. She had no idea.
Yeah. And she loved it.
The word of the day is dippy. Thanks, Mom.
Dippy broad.
who would have known that all those years ago we would be talking about it on present day, Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nightmare, you're absolutely right. So, Chris, just so you are aware, I licked
everything in there?
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Well, I got more containers for me.
All right.
That's all I got to say.
I love you all.
You're out of here.
I gotta go.
Let him go. Let him go.
Have a good night, guys. Maybe you guys will still be here when I get back. If
Walk
not,
away and shut the door.
8:30, maybe I'll go live on my channel tonight.
All right, see you, dude. Later. All right, do you want to end this live stream or should we keep going? I don't know what to talk about. I don't know how to do this without someone with me. All right, now it's just me, front and center. I don't know if the way you hear this microphone, if you hear it like me on one side, him on the other side, but now it's like it's right here. Oh, we have a bye Chris here too from Nicole. You leaving again? Talk about the assumptions video. I mean, that's all it was. I went through every question. So somebody asked me first to do the video, by the way. It wasn't even my idea. Somebody said, hey, would you do a video like this? And I was like, oh, yeah, that looks kind of fun. So I posted on my Facebook and my Instagram account, The Vegan Zombie. Tell me some assumptions you have of me, and I'll go through each one of them. I'll tell you if you're right or if you're wrong or whatever. So we had quite a few of them. And I went through every one. So there were a few that were kind of repeats, so I didn't technically do every single one, but I answered the same question. So, yeah. Oh, you're off work now. Awesome. That must be a good feeling. I still have a little bit more time working, and then I got to edit some videos, which is also work. Oh, yeah, I do too. When people don't yield at pedestrians in the crosswalk. Yep. Or the worst is when people don't stop for school buses when the little lights come on and then they just keep going past them or they try to pass the bus. People shouldn't be driving. What assumptions did you think were most absurd? Man, you're making me think back a couple days. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to pull it up. There was a lot of questions, so I had to screenshot them before they went away on Instagram, so I had them. But it was a fun video. Maybe I'll do it again sometime. Or, I feel like the Q&A, you guys can just come on here and ask me questions live, stuff like that. So, let's see. A lot of people thought that I'm really into metal music. Gym today, Chris. Yeah, we went late last night, and we will be going again today, probably later. Let's see. A lot of people thought I was nice. I'm not. I'm reading them right now, by the way. I got them pulled up right here. Yeah, there were some good ones, but I don't know. I don't know if I can answer your question right now. I had a few that people said I look like Jared Leto, so I put that in the thumbnail. You'd be surprised at how a few people got triggered by that. You do not. He's beautiful. He's got great hair. He's got great eyes. You look nothing like him. Oh, thanks. I don't know. I actually get that at least 2 or 3 times a week. People say that I look like him. Yeah, I think so too. The metal thing, that I look like I would be into metal because of my hair and stuff. Yes, Hazel, that I am nice. That would be one that everybody thinks I'm not nice. No, I'm nice. I'm thinking about it. I'm generally nice to everybody. The only reason I'm not nice to people is if they're not nice to me, or if somebody gives me a reason to not be nice. I like everybody. I give everybody a chance until they give me a reason not to. So, like, I've always been friends with just whoever wanted to be my friend, from the time I was a little kid. So, oh yeah, the assumptions of my love life. Yeah, some people were assuming that I was a virgin, asexual, wondering if I was straight, all kinds of different things. Why do you like long hair again, Chris? Again. So when I cut my hair, it still was pretty long, but I prefer my long hair. I like having long hair, but I also like to be able to put it back and know that I still have that hair. Most of my life I had a shaved buzz cut, and that's not me anymore. I don't like it. Part of the reason for a long time was, I wanted to work for the FBI. I wanted to be in the professional field. I wanted to, I was a special investigator for a while, and then I talk about this in one of my videos, but I guess when I was able to do this full time, the vegan zombie, because I never really liked, not that I never liked working for other people. This really stems back from when I was a kid, because, I was bullied. I was bullied a lot during middle school and high school. And that part of me was basically, it's also stemmed from like doing everything I was told every time. And like when I graduated from high school, that kind of represented like I no longer have to do what I'm told. Like I'm 18, I'm an adult, and I'm done with school. Like I don't have to listen to what teachers tell me. Do this, do that. Don't, all of this stuff, because I listened to them all the time. I wasn't very rebellious. I actually got an award for having perfect attendance from like 6th grade to 12th grade. Never missed a day. Always did what I was told. And I just didn't like that anymore. I wanted to be, it kind of shaped me for who I am now. And that's why, a lot of times I try to let it go. But when people are bullying on the internet, like I'm really quick to like stop it right there. I'm like, I refuse to be bullied. Like, and maybe I get a little defensive because of the past, but now I'm going to lose my train of thought. Hold on one second. Stop. All right. So, where was I? I knew that was going to happen. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. I got to the point where I was an investigator, but I was a contractor as an investigator, and I preferred that because I was my own boss at that point. I no longer had a boss. I had a liaison, and that was pretty cool. I mean, I still had to do certain things that had to do, but I was, pretty much my own boss, but I was still working for that agency. And then, while I was doing this, I had created the Vegan Zombie, and this is my passion. This is my love. This is what I love doing. And it gave me that freedom. And when I was able to go full time doing this, I started growing my hair out, and I no longer had to look a certain way for what I was doing, for where I worked or whatever. It was representative of I can do what I want. I can look how I want. I don't have to answer to anybody. I'm my own independent being, like that was it. So that was pretty much in a nutshell why I like long hair now. And I don't want to shave my head again. I know what I look like with the shaved head. And, when I say shaved, I don't mean bald, but like buzz cut. I used to always cut my own hair with like a buzz cut. Boom. I have, several pictures of it too. Like I could probably show you if you want to see something like that. Close the door. So, I wish I got $50 for perfect attendance too. I didn't get any money for that, by the way. That would have been cool. I just got a plaque. I have it somewhere. I'm trying to, sorry, when I go off like that and start talking, I miss a lot of the comments. So, no, I didn't go to a private school. I went to a public school in a small town outside of Syracuse, New York. Yeah, I went there since kindergarten. I can still remember, for those of you that don't know me or don't know a lot of stuff about me if you're new, some of you that do know me know that I have a really, really good memory. And I remember going to orientation for kindergarten. We're talking about 1980, okay? This is over 40 years ago. Orientation for kindergarten, and I remember going in there. It was nighttime, so it was probably in the evening, obviously. It wasn't late for little kids, but it was dark out. And going in there and seeing like everything that they had, it was like amazing. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go to school here. And they had the like little cubby holes and all that. And, I still drive by where I went to school and kindergarten and middle school and high school every time I go visit my parents. So my school went like this. It went kindergarten through 5th grade. And then it went 6th, 7th was middle school. And then 8 to 12 was high school. That's how it was when I went there. They have since changed it. So now it's 6th to 8th is middle school. And 9 to 12 is high school. So, and the middle school is now in a different location. The building still exists, but the middle school is in a different location. And I even got to go back there as an adult and do a vegan zombie food demonstration there. So that was pretty fun. No, Chris isn't cutting his hair. And in fact, the last time I did cut my hair, I feel like I cut a little bit too much off. So I'm growing. I'm not going to grow it as long as it was because it was really, really long. But I'm going to, probably grow it a little bit longer than this. Eighth grade was high school when I went there. So yes. What I was bullied about? I don't know. I was like, there was just like the cool kids, the bully kids, and I was I was a quiet kid. I was a shy kid, and I don't want you to take this wrong way, but I was friends with like all of the nerds and the geeks and stuff, and the kids that people picked on and stuff. I was friends with them, and I don't know. I was a skateboarder. You think of like the skateboarders, the skateboarder crew and stuff like that. That's who I was. I was a skater. And, I dressed like a skater. I hung out with the skaters, and that was but I would get bullied. And also because I never backed down. So I would never like if there was somebody bullying me, I wouldn't be like, okay. I would just, stand my ground and get bullied, but I wouldn't 99% of the time, I would never do anything back because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to get suspended and stuff like that. And then as time went on, I was like, 10th or 11th grade, I didn't want to fight back because I already knew in my mind, and I have kind of an OCD mind, that I had perfect attendance for all those years, and I wanted just to do it. So I was never in trouble, none of that. Let me tell you this. So this is kind of an interesting story. So that could have been what really brought on my claustrophobia too, because when I was in middle school, I went into it was like gym time, not gym, but like recess. We were in the gym, and there was some rolled up gym mats. Those things are pretty heavy, by the way. And I had some, not friends, but acquaintances like, oh, see if you can make your way in there. And I'm like, oh yeah, I probably can. So I kind of like crawled in there, and they all sat on it, and they were crushing me, and I couldn't breathe. And I was trying, and I was like at their mercy. I couldn't get out, and they didn't just let me out like in 10 seconds. They sat there for a while, and I was like, I was like crying. Like when I finally got out, I was all red, and times were different back then. Like, they're not how they are now with this anti-bullying thing. But I went and I was like crying, and the gym teacher was like, Chris, what happened? I go, oh, and he's like, oh, don't let him. He didn't do anything, about that. So, I got bullied throughout. I had a couple people that would like try to beat me up every single day. One day it was just a sudden surprise because this one dude he would try to fight me every day. I'd be like, leave me alone. Like, I would try to prevent him from doing it, but nobody would ever stop it or anything like that. And then one day I just turned around and I punched him in the face, and I just took off. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I did that, and he was chasing me and everything. And so now he's even more mad at me because of that. We're going back a long time. The thing that I really hated though is because I was, I'm sharing a lot right now. My parents were struggling. Like, that's why I really want to make it big, nowadays, because I want to be able to help them. They're old now. I want to be able to help them. And they were struggling because my dad lost his job in the 80s, and he always tried to go find other jobs. And I think it really hurt him trying to find a decent, well-paying job, because he wasn't willing to leave the area that we were in because my grandma lived here, and he didn't want to move away from her and everything like that. And my dad has a master's degree and all that, and he really supporting 4 kids was hard to the point where I knew that they didn't have. I mean, we were on. This is embarrassing, but I can say it. We were on welfare and all that stuff when I was growing up, and food stamps, and that was really embarrassing. My parents they didn't have a lot of money, and I, even though I liked I want all these toys, I want this, I want that. I knew that I didn't want to burden my parents extra. For instance, I remember it was a middle school, and the teachers were passing around forms to have our parents fill out to go on the class trip. And I think the class trip went to Canada, Toronto, stuff like that. And I did go on one of them, but I remember one specific one where they needed $210 or something. And I just folded the paper up and I never spoke of it. I did not tell my parents. I didn't say anything, because my parents are the kind of people that they would do what they could. They would find a way to let me do that kind of thing. And I knew that they didn't have the money, so I never mentioned it to them, and I didn't go. So I was one of the kids that stayed back. I didn't go on that trip. But yeah, so what I'm trying to get at here is when Christmas would come, they would do without to make sure that their kids, me and my brothers and sisters, would have nice things for Christmas and stuff like that. Transformers and Nintendo, stuff like that. So it was one year, I think I was in 8th or 9th grade, and I got this, at the time, as being a skateboarder and, meeting when I finally got, I think I was in 9th grade, because when I went to high school, I met some new kids that came from different schools that I became really good friends with. One of them is one of my best friends today, and we've done so much in the past together. I've told you stories about him, and we became friends through skateboarding. And the big thing back then, this was 1990, was to get skateboarding videos, so for Christmas I wanted skateboarding shoes, I wanted skateboarding videos and stuff like that, and we got one, and because my parents didn't have money, we got like a skateboarding videos, not my skateboarding video, but a skateboarding video for all of us to share and stuff like that. Well, anyway, I brought it with me to school, to kind of show my friends, hey, I got the new skateboarding video, I'm cool, and I put it in my locker. And the one dude that would always bully me, so you knew how I was really neurotic about not missing a day of school. I was also neurotic about being to class on time. Like, I've never skipped a class, and that was pretty much unheard of in my school, and probably a lot of schools. Like, almost everybody has skipped a class at least once. I never did that. And I was never late. And it was time to go from lunch to get to my science class. And I was at my locker, and I had my locker open, and I was, putting my other stuff in there and try to get my other books out. And as this was happening, that one bully kid ran by me, and he grabbed my hat off my head, pulling my hair as he did it, and ran down to the lower level of where I was. And I'm like, oh my God. So I ran down there after him to get my hat. And when he threw it somewhere and I actually got it, I ran back up there, and I shut my locker. I went to class. Well, later that day, I realized while I left my locker, his friend stole my skateboard video that my parents got me. And I was more upset at the fact that my parents went through what they went through, to get that for us, and that happened, and then they stole it, than anything. Like, I felt bad for my parents. I'm like, oh my God, like, I can't believe that this happened. I never did get it back. Oh man, I'd like to see that dude now. So anyway, bullied throughout high school. Now, I might as well tell you that I've told this story a few times before, and if there's anybody from my high school watching this, you're going to know probably who I'm talking about. So there I am. This dude's bullying me. And then this other dude who's bigger than both of us, bigger than the bully, he comes over. This dude's like solid dude. Like, he's probably older. He's probably a little bit older than us, but he was in my grade. So he comes over, and I'm like, oh no, not him too. Like, I can deal with this one, but I can't do anything against this guy. He's huge, So he walks over to me, and he's like, Chris. And I'm like, what? He's like, is he bothering you? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, hold on. And he grabs him by the shoulder, and he's like, I don't want to ever see you touch him again. I don't ever want to see you bother Chris again. And he's like, Chris, if he ever bothers you again, let me know. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And he never did. He never bothered me again. And here's the part that I want to tell you guys. If you know bullying, if you've been part of bullying, if you know somebody that bullies, if there's any little kids watching this that have bullied or are being bullied, I'm going to tell you this. Like, I was bullied, and as somebody that was bullied, or even somebody that bullies other people, you are going to, like, this is like 30 years ago, and I still remember the name of every person that bullied me, and I remember the name of everybody that didn't bully me. You know what I'm saying? Like, the person that stood up for me. And someday you might be in a position where that person that you bullied is in a position to help you out, but you bullied them. Like, do you want to be remembered? I mean, beyond high school, do you want to be remembered as a bully, as a jerk, or somebody that did the right thing? Because there's two sides to that coin. And I would say, if you are in a position where you're bigger or stronger, or you're more popular, you can say something to influence a situation, then do it positively and stick up for somebody that's being bullied, because that person is going to remember you the rest of their life as being somebody that did the right thing rather than somebody that did the wrong thing. And you don't want to be on that side. You don't want to be that jerk the rest of your life, knowing that you did that kind of thing. And I've always wanted to be able to thank this person that did this for me. I've always wanted to go back and say, hey man, this is my story and you're part of it. And you did something positive that impacted me. And I never to this day wish, people are like, oh, I'm so sorry that this, I'm not, because I wouldn't change it for the world. I'm glad things happened the way they did. I wouldn't be me if these things didn't happen to me. If these things didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person that, like, I stand up for myself. Now, I say what's right, and there's no exception to that. Like, I'm a very, I'm aggressive when that kind of stuff happens. And I never put myself in a position where I feel like I'm being bullied anymore. And I don't want other people to feel like that either. But I don't wish that none of that stuff happened to me, because it made me who I am today. And the other unfortunate thing is that person that stood up for me, the reason why I cannot thank him and tell him that what he did for me impacted me in a positive way. And I've always thought about it for all of these years. And we're talking about over 25 years, is because right before graduation from high school, he ended up being in a very bad car accident and he died. So if you guys are watching this and you're from my high school, you know who I'm talking about. He did a very positive thing for me, and he impacted me in a positive way, and I'll never forget that. So I didn't mean to talk about all this in this live stream, but we got into bullying and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess I do kind of thank some of those bullies, but like if I saw him today, like, I don't know, like, I'm not that kid that used to get bullied anymore. So like, yeah, there's, most of them, like, I don't know, but there are a couple of them that I would definitely like. Okay, so there was another one. This one dude, I was in an advanced art class. I was good at art. I quit altogether. I stopped doing art. I was good at art. I was good at drawing. I was good at all of that. Ever since I was a little kid, there's movies of me with my dad doing art at the family table, when he would get home from work and we'd be all ready, for bed. Before bed, we would all draw together, and make things artistically, because my dad's a good artist, and he's always done stuff like that, paintings and drawings and stuff like that. So I was in an advanced art class, meaning I was in a class in high school with a bunch of students that were a grade or two higher than me. And I was sitting at this one table, and I was a skateboarder, and some of them were skateboarders, but they didn't like me because I was a couple grades younger, and they were bullies, and like, stupid stuff, like they'd walk by me and punch me in the arm real hard or something. Oh, but I remember this one time, like, because the teacher would always come over. They would always be fooling around. They didn't really care about art. They were just there because they had to be in the class. I was actually trying to do decent artwork, and I remember we were making clay pots, and I was making this one for my mom for Christmas, and I had a clay pot, like, it was like this tall, and I had it all, coiled and scored and all that good stuff, and I'm, working on it the whole time, and then the 5-minute bell rings, which means, now it's time to go clean up and get ready, to put everything away so we can, get ready to go to the next class. So 5-minute bell rings, I go clean my utensils and everything, and I come back and my entire thing is just demolished. They just ruined it. They grabbed it and just put their hands through it and tore it apart. And they're all laughing, and I'm just like, what? And they're all looking, and the teacher wouldn't do anything, because the teacher, I don't know, the teacher was kind of weird in the first place, but she just like looked the other way kind of thing, never said a thing, and I'm just like, I was really upset about that, so much that I still remember it today. So that dude right there, if I saw him, it probably wouldn't be, like, that dude was just an a-hole to try to be good on this stream, but if I saw him, yeah, I don't know, like... You would love to see some of my dad's artwork and mine. Oh, well, so I stopped altogether. I stopped doing art. I stopped drawing. I stopped anything. It was weird. I I'm weird. Like, people would tell me I was so good, and my family would be like, you're so good at art. And for me, for a normal person, they'd be like, yeah, I'm pretty good, aren't I? You know, for me, hearing that from everybody, you can kind of see this in my, I did a Christmas vlog, and I showed a clip of me from when I was like a teenager. And anyway, I'm not like this anymore, but when everybody would sit there and tell, is it just me, or is it anybody else? Has it ever been like this? Everybody would tell me like, oh, you're so good at art. You're so good at this. You're so good at that. That made me not want to do it. That made me be like, oh, okay, well, I'm not doing it then. I don't want to do it anymore. And that was my mentality. I completely stopped doing it because I didn't want this recognition and praise. I didn't want people saying, oh, you're so good at this. I completely stopped. And that's kind of a backwards mentality now that I think about it, but that's how I was with everything that people would praise me for, with the exception of skateboarding. So Vegan Lion Lindsay says, yes, same thing. So I'm not alone in that. Like, I don't know why. Like, yeah. But you can see the mentality I have. If you go, I think it was my Christmas vlog that I put up. There's a part at the end where I show a clip from like the early 90s or mid 90s. And you can tell the look on my face. My mom wanted to hug me, and I didn't want her to hug me. And I was just like, get the camera out of my face. And like, I was being like, I wasn't, you could tell. I mean, I know what was going on in my head. And like, that was like me. That was like fresh me of being like, newly like, I was out of high school at that point. I was 18 or 19, and like I was fresh with the mentality of like, nobody is going to bully me. Nobody is going to tell me what to do. Nobody is going to say anything that I need to do with my life. From now on, like, so if you look at that, and then I quickly cut to like present day, which was Christmas a few months ago. And, I actually initiated. I'm like, Mom, Dad, give me a hug. So like, I'm a totally different person than I was back then. I mean, I've gone through a journey. We all do. And it's safe to say like me now is not me then. If all of a sudden me then was sitting here in front of you and somehow had the courage to be able to talk to you guys, you'd be like, who is this? You wouldn't recognize me. Did my parents ever try to stop the bullies? I wasn't the kind of kid that came home and told them anything. So nobody ever knew. Nobody knew about this. I don't even think they knew until years later, and when I finally said something. I didn't want anyone to know. Nobody would know. Nobody knew this kind of thing about me. But, I mean, oh, yeah, if you're just joining us, you probably missed a lot. Yeah, we talked about a lot here. I had something on the... Oh, yeah, I have also, like, after I was done with high school, like, there's a few times that I stepped in and prevented people from being bullied, to the point where I actually grabbed a dude that was bullying my brother's friend. So this dude... So my brother's friend, which is my friend now, my youngest brother's friend, he was different, like he very goth and stuff. He was walking actually to my house to meet up with my brother after high school. So my high school was roughly probably like a mile from my house, and sometimes I would walk to school and walk home instead of taking the bus. And so he was walking over there, and a group of kids were driving by. So these kids must have been 16 or 17. They drove by, and they saw him walking, out there. And that's like, it's not a very, there's not very much traffic on this road that goes to my parents' house. It's all trees and sticks and woods. They got out of the car, and they punched him in the face and beat him up and stuff. And he was all bleeding when he came over. And when I saw that kid in the mall, the same mall that I did my zombie video in a few years ago. I saw him in the mall, and I went up to him, and I was so angry that he beat up the nicest dude that anyone knew. And I just, right in the mall, I mean, I didn't mean for this to happen, but all of a sudden I look around, there was a crowd watching us. I grabbed him by the throat and I slammed him onto the wall, and I'm like, if you ever touch him again, you're going to wish you didn't. And he was like, ah. And I guess that was the rage of all the times I was bullied and just did not want to see that. I was too little and weak when I was younger to do anything really. And here I am now, like, I'm not, this isn't, like, I'm grown up now. Don't mess with me kind of thing. Don't bully people. So, yeah. I can't think of anything that I regret. I'm sure there's things that I do regret, but I try not to regret things. I don't regret any of that. Like high school, that's gone. Why are you... What? That's not very positive there, race. You see a flag in the background. That is, you get those when somebody dies. That was my grandpa's. He was in the Korean War. He was a Marine. A motivational speaker. So yeah, I mean, while I'm divulging all this, like, because I actually made a video about that years ago and I never posted it because I was like, this is kind of too personal. So, well, the zombie's here for me. Big Josh Vegan Head is here for him, which is over there. All right, I think I've ran out of things to talk about. Any other questions? There's a lot of I don't know if I have a favorite scene from E.T., but I really like the atmosphere in the kitchen dining room area at the beginning. A little bit of fog in there, and it captures what I remember the 80's being like, where they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, they order the pizza. That to me, like, that scene is, I really, really love that scene. But I mean, I post it all the time. There's a scene when E.T. is hugging Elliot at the end, and the face that this is made back in 1981, and they did such a good job. But his facial expression of, like, just being there with Elliot, that right there, that's probably my favorite still shot that I have from E.T. But yeah, just the whole movie is amazing. Wait, what? Babu, you're not blocked. Why would you think you're blocked? Have I ever punched anyone? Yes. Please stop talking about E.T. No. All right, so the rest of the stream, we're going to talk a little bit about E.T., the extraterrestrial. Shot in 1981 and premiered June 11th, 1982. I don't block. I've blocked 2 people in the past 11 years. I don't know if Linda can block anyone as a moderator. I don't know, but I never block anybody. I mean, you really got to be like a piece of for me to block you. There's 2 people that I've blocked. Do I believe in real ETs? I do. I think there's more than we know. Yes. I have some crazy stories myself, and so does my dad. You guys saw that video, right? If you didn't, check it out. My dad's UFO story. AJ, awesome. Yes, so did I. I saw ET in the theater when it came out with my little brother. A piece of tofu. Yeah, kinda. Tell us why you love ET so much. Okay, so I love ET so much because it gives me, it's more than a movie to me. It's a form of nostalgia, and it brings me right back to where I was in 1982 when I went to the movie theater to watch that. And growing up in the 80s, being around, Elliot's age, Gertie's age, and watching the movie, everything that Elliot liked and was into, like I was into, like Star Wars and BMX, and it was set around Halloween time, and all of these things. I just fell in love with it, and the way it made me feel, the emotion that it evoked near the middle and the end, drew me in, and it became like I was in love with that movie since I was a little kid. And nowadays I have that nostalgia for it where I can bring myself right back to that time. It's like a happy time, and everything that was going on around me at the time, being a little kid in the 80s, I can recall. I even remember where I sat in the movie theater when I watched it, and I always say that that's one of the emotions that are the most intense for me is nostalgia, because it's a very happy feeling, but at the same time it's very sad because I know I can never go back to that time. And just E.T. is one of those movies. I just saw it again last year around this time at the Landmark Theater here in Syracuse, and the Syracuse Symphony played the musical score as we watched it. It was the original, unedited. They have a CGI version where they kind of re-edited some of the things out of there. I watched the original one with that music score, and just the very beginning when that music played, it was like I was brought right back to that place. And then a few other scenes in the movie just gave me like chills and brought me right back to being a little kid. So I would say out of every movie I've ever seen, that is my all-time favorite movies. There are a few movies that are very, very close to being like that for me, but that is my all-time favorite. I saw a question up there. I loved Gremlins too. I saw Gremlins when it first came out in a drive-through. That was the first time I was, not a drive-through, a drive-in. I went to a drive-in with my little brother and my parents, and we watched Gremlins. Gremlins 2, not the same. Gremlins is a great movie. You've never seen E.T., Mrs. Nightmare. You need to see E.T. at least once. Nostalgia sounds like a sea monster from the Renaissance age. Hey, it could be. See, I've got like like I said, I got a great memory, so I can go back to certain times, and this happens for a lot of people, but certain smells, certain tastes bring you back to those certain times, and I can do that if I close my eyes, and like all of a sudden I'm there for a second, It's crazy. Yeah, Goonies is another one. That's true, bro. Yeah, go watch E.T. and then understand me better. I still have my original Gremlins like stuffed animal, and I have it. It's downstairs somewhere. You loved Annie when you're. I did not like that. That gave me a weird vibe, especially at the end when they were climbing up the, which it looked like a big ladder, but I think it was like a railroad thing that was straight up, and just that always like I watched it so many times too when I was little. Give me a weird feeling. I also liked Pete's Dragon, the original, but that also gave me a weird feeling I didn't really like. E.T. is definitely not an overrated movie. E.T. is one of the original classics. It's so good. Elf is definitely not better than E.T. Yeah, the smells, the certain smells bring me back, certain tastes bring me back. However, I don't think I would want a candle for the same reason that I don't watch E.T. all the time. If I watched E.T. all the time, it would dull the experience for me, and I feel like I would lose the strong sense of nostalgia that I have. So I try not to watch it that often. Same with the smells. If I found a smell and I just kept smelling it, over and over every day, I would probably lose the connection I had to the past. Lost Boys was one of my favorites too. Like there was a point in time that I memorized every single word of the movie Lost Boys. Also, Interview with the Vampire. If you saw my last video, I did a little clip from Interview with the Vampire. Elf did eat cats. Yes, he did. I mean, if you want, I'll fight you, Reyes. If you want to fight, maybe we could set that up and, make it a Facebook live, not a Facebook, YouTube live. I'm down. Sorry to hear that, Gomez. Same here, Josh. Love 80s movies. Are there any music videos you have nostalgia for? Yeah. I think I know exactly where I was most of the videos that I've seen the first time. I mean, there's a bunch of them because I'm one of those generations where I was around before MTV came out and then during MTV. So I remember all these crazy videos and where I was. I remember the top 10 countdowns. Some of the videos that I really liked and the songs I liked were, Skid Row, 18 in Life, Ricky was a young boy. Later on there was Guns N' Roses, November Rain. There was Rick Ocasek, Emotion in Motion, where he's kind of like in a fantasy, like Dungeons and Dragons kind of world, with like unicorns and stuff walking around. That was really cool. Monkeys, Daydream Believer, they're on the piano, and I used to watch the Monkeys, and but there's a lot. There's a lot. I can go through like tons of them, but that might be boring. Quiet Riot. Terminator is your favorite movie, so then you got Guns N' Roses, You Could Be Mine, where you got Edward Furlong on the motorcycle and trying to get away from like the Terminator. I don't know. Duran Duran for me was one of those weird. I don't know. Headbangers Ball with what was his name? Matt Pinfield or something. Indiana Jones. Oh, so I remember where I was when I first watched Indiana Jones. And this is kind of a cool story, so I'll tell it. All right, so when I was little, every Sunday we would go to this bowling alley, so I grew up in a small little town called Chittenango, New York. You can look it up. It's the home of L. Frank Baum. L. Frank Baum is the creator, writer of The Wizard of Oz. So my small little town of Chittenango has yellow brick sidewalks and everything is Oz themed. And there was a big bowling alley. And now this bowling alley wasn't your average bowling alley. It was a huge mansion that kind of looked like a castle. It was really amazing. And it was a bowling alley, and they had an arcade, and they had like a bar where you get food and everything. And then everything else in there, the rest of the mansion was all speculative. Like, we didn't know what was in there. And I was part of the bowling team when I was younger, so we would go there. I think we started going there for Cub Scouts, but then I went every Sunday, and they would have donuts there. Way before I was vegan. I remember the donuts they would have. They'd have music playing, and we would go bowling. And I became friends with this one kid who lived there. He was one of the residents that lived in this bowling alley. It was his family that owned it. And so he said, hey, we're going to go watch some movies afterwards and eat food if you guys want to join us upstairs. And I was like, oh, that sounds fun. Mom, Dad, please, can I please? And they're like, no. And I'm like, oh, please. And they're like, okay, fine. I'm like, well, yeah, you can come back and get me when the movie's over. So, like, come back in a couple hours and get me. So I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I get to check out what this mansion looks like. And so the name of the bowling alley was called Emerald City Lanes. That's where the L. Frank Baum Wizard of Oz thing came into play there. Emerald City Lanes. So we go through the arcade part, and now we're into like the bar area, and there's like this curtain where we go up these stairs like a little secret passageway. Now we're up in this like huge hallway with like the doorways are really, really tall, and we go into this room, and the windows and the doors they were like huge. They were like really, really tall. And he sat down there, and this is early 80s, so they had, if anybody remembers, if you don't know, if you weren't born during this time, there was such thing before DVDs, before VHS tapes, called Laserdisc. So you have a big Laserdisc, and he had Indiana Jones, and I had never seen it before. So I'm like, okay, we're going to watch Indiana Jones. You take this big Laserdisc, and you put it into the player. It takes the disc out, reads it, and you watch it on a TV. So we all sat on the couch, and we start watching Indiana Jones. And I just remember like specifically the part like at the beginning where he's got all those tarantulas on him, and he just kind of like moves them off because Indiana Jones ain't afraid of nothing except for snakes. So tarantulas, no problem. He just wipes them off. Not a big deal. And I just remember, watching all the cobwebs and, being in this like huge mansion, and that's the end of the story. But the really sad thing about this is a car dealership bought them out and demolished the building. And I'm like, no, if I was a little bit older and had some money, I would have loved to have bought that mansion and had a vegan bowling alley or whatever. I don't know, but it doesn't exist anymore. So now it's Sun Chevrolet. So anyway, true story. And I've always wondered if I could like somewhere like look back. Maybe I could pull it up. I don't know if there's any pictures of this because they took this down years and years and years ago. What should I look for? That's not what I wrote. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try to find a picture of it. I don't know if any exist. Wait. Come on. They really do. I don't. Yeah, I don't think there's any pictures of this. Nobody thought to take a picture of it back in the day. And I don't think I did either. Okay, so I think I can't really blow this picture up. Let me try. Bear with me. I'm going to try to show you what this looks like. I think I found it. It looks a lot like the Psycho house. Okay, so I'm going to try to so I don't have that big yeah, that's it. So all right, here we go, guys. So you guys don't have to Google it. I will show you what it looks like. That was it. You would pull up, you'd go behind the building, And then there was like connected to this was like a bowling alley. You'd go in there, you'd go to the right, and you got the bowling alley. You go straight, and you got the arcade. And I remember when I first got a Nintendo, I was like, oh my God, because like I used to go here to play Super Mario Brothers. And I remember the first day I got a Nintendo, this brings us back to like around 1985, 86. I was like, oh my God, I can play Super Mario Brothers now without any quarters. I remember saying that. Anyway, there it is. That was amazing. That's where I first saw Indiana Jones. So anyway, that's my Indiana Jones story. Great movie. And that's what it reminds me of, going back to there when I first hear the first Indiana Jones. Chris, can you do a meetup and you can take us on a tour of your memories? I'd be down. So we'll have a meetup in Chittenango, New York, and I'll give you guys a tour of the area. A future nostalgia meetup. You know, I'm sure that all of you have really amazing stories too. It's just I'm the one behind the camera right now, so but if only, I'm sure, like, you know, every person you meet has an amazing story. Ooh, by the way, they're redoing Amazing Stories by the Steven Spielberg Amazing Stories. I used to watch that with my dad all the time. I have an old movie of me wearing a Van Halen hat, and I go up to the camera, and my dad's like, "Hey Chris, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Van Halen." I don't think I ever listened to him, but I had that Van Halen hat that I got at a grocery store of all places. None of us have as good memory as you. You know what? Well, I'm sure some of you do, but I have my other. You guys already know him from my videos, but my friend that I had go vegan, that was the fire chief. He's also got as good a memory as I do. So you get me and him together, and we can start regurgitating all kinds of stories, because I've been friends with him since we were like 6 years old. So we can really probably remember a lot of things together. Your most cherished arcade memories are the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle arcade, Aliens, Final Fight. I remember playing, long time ago, we played, what is it called? Golden Axe, and then Shinobi, Rolling Thunder. We would go to the pizza shop and play those like over and over, and then Mortal Kombat came out, and everybody played that. We'd try to get like the high scorer, you know, the townie that would come in that nobody could beat, and you try to beat them and that kind of stuff. What are we talking about? I don't even know. We're talking about all kinds of things right now. So I got lots of stories up here. You guys got to pick my brain so I can talk about them. I can't just like, I feel like it's hard for me to just like, but if you guys start asking questions, then I have those stories. Time is it? 6 o'clock. So if anybody wants me to keep talking, I'll talk for a little bit longer, but then I'm going to have to go and edit some videos. Space Invaders and pinball. So yeah, the first thing that I ever saw was Pong. And that was a long time ago. I think it was 1980. My dad's friend came over with this thing called a gaming system, and he hooked it up to our little black and white TV with the dial channel, and we had Pong where we do, and I'm like, that's amazing. I want to play video games now. And then the story about how I won $100 when I have a picture of it. I showed you guys the picture. I won $100 from a raffle ticket. And I went and I collected my money, and then I went and I bought a gaming system. I bought Atari, and I had Pac-Man. Chomp, 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 chomp. And that was leading up to, like, you know, playing Pac-Man and some of the other games, because the kids down the street that my mom would babysit sometimes, they had it too. So I'd watch them playing Asteroids and all that stuff and, you know, getting high scores. And then a couple years after that, E.T. came out, and I actually went to see E.T. with those kids that my mom used to babysit. And in one part, Elliot's older brother says, you know, they talk about getting like the high score in Asteroids and stuff, and I'm like, I play that. Oh my god, he's playing with Star Wars figures. I play with Star Wars figures. You know, like all these things that he's doing. Like in my mind, I was very much like Elliot. Like I was living through him in that movie, and I even cried in the movie, and I felt like a big baby. And then I went to see it again when it was. I saw it twice in the movie theaters when it first came out. And the second time, I already knew what I was in for, and I'm like, I'm not going to cry. And then sure enough, it came to it. I couldn't help it. That, you know, I'm not going to give away the scene. I mean, I know the movie is very old, and most people have already seen it. But if you haven't seen it, it gets to that one scene again, and like, it tugs at your heartstrings. And like, I started crying again. I'm like, oh my God, I'm crying twice. That might be why I remember it so good like that. And it had such a profound impact on me because, you know, for whatever reason, people like different movies for different reasons. I like movies that really can like tug at your heartstrings and invoke a lot of emotion. And those ones seem to have some kind of scene in it that is really sad. All in all, E.T. is not a sad movie, but there is a really sad part in it where if you don't cry, like, you know, I didn't think I was human and I still cried, you know, so, yeah. Oh, battery exhausted. I saw it. Let me put a new one in there. Be right back, guys. Still here. You guys can still hear me. You just can't see me. There we go. Back. And I kind of forgot what I was talking about too. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, greatest movie of all time. If you disagree, then I'll fight you and you'll lose. Well, if you're shrunk, then you're not going to have a very good chance to win. Rick Moranis. I saw that in the theater too. Great. When I watch E.T., my daughter and I are going to... See, here's the thing, too. Like, I honestly... I think E.T. is that movie that you can watch anytime, but at the same time, I don't know how somebody would react to it. Like, I can't put myself in that position because I was a product of the 70s and 80s growing up in that time period, knowing what was going on during those times. And, you know, during those times, you know, we're living a different life than we live now. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. It was, the communities were different. They were more, you know, close knit because in order to communicate with anyone, you couldn't just like pick up your cell phone or text them. Like, you were really out and about and doing things with people. And with that being said, watching E.T. at that time in the 80s when it came out probably had a different kind of impact than somebody that, let's say, was born 15, 20 years ago in, you know, current times, and then watching that movie then. It's still, I think it's an amazing movie, but I don't know if they're going to have the same, you know, it's not going to have the same impact. It might not have the same effect. And that's going also with, like, I've said this many times about the original Star Wars. Like, people that are in a younger generation, they'll never know what it's like to have watched those movies when they came out during that time, like being like, wow, this is like huge. Like, we've never seen a movie like this before. And it's, you know, now there's so many things out there. Like, they're going into it kind of like with a different thought. Like, when I think of those movies, I think of the time. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm articulating that right or not, but let's see. Yeah, I don't think my mom, the way my mom explains this, the reason why we went to see E.T. was because it was a very, very hot summer day, and my mom wanted to just get out of the house and go sit in an air-conditioned movie theater. I don't think she even really knew what E.T. was. We went in there. We went into the movie theater. We sat in the front left, which I never like to sit in nowadays. I like to sit in the very back. But we sat in the front left. I was sitting there looking up at the theater like this way. History was made right in my brain. Kayla agrees. Well said. This is my socializing now to avoid coronas. I love the Goonies too. I feel like they don't make movies the way they used to. They're not, I don't know. They're not like any of those amazing, I mean, you could have you can choose like a whole group of like amazing 80s movies, and they're just not the same as like, you know, an amazing nowadays movie. It just it's, I don't know. You like to eat dates while you're on a date. Okay. Star Wars was, I didn't see the first one in theater, but I saw The Empire Strikes Back in the theater. I was too little. I was alive when the first one came out, but Chunk is better than E.T. Well, I don't think E.T. does the Truffle Shuffle. Yeah, Stranger Things definitely gave that vibe. That's why I really like Stranger Things. And the other movie that I would say, all around I didn't like it, but there's a scene from the movie Super 8 that has the same vibe as I described at the kitchen. Like there's a scene in a kitchen, and I'm like, you know, this is Spielberg, you know, and I think he oversaw that movie. So yeah. What is my gym routine? I've been going just about every single night with Josh. Last night, Josh couldn't make it. I went with Rachel. And I've been following Brian Turner's plan, which Noah Craig sent to me. And been sticking with that. So what I normally do is I go in, I get on the treadmill, which is not on. So I run first, and then I go and I work out. And then I'll do a few other things that are not on there. Cause like I'm somebody I've been doing pull-ups and push-ups for like 8 years straight now. And so I've been in shape. I just haven't put on muscle, because when you do stuff like that, you're just kind of like keeping toned, and you're not really, you got to really increase it or increase the weight, which I haven't done. I've just been consistent by doing my pull-ups and push-ups. So yeah, I usually run like 1.5 miles, 2 miles. Then I go over, and last night was leg night. So we do leg, we do chest, we do back, we do upper and lower body. And I'm still getting used to doing all those exercises. And we've been going to, so Craig goes to a really legit gym. It's kind of a drive for me, but we've been going to Planet Fitness because Josh has the get your buddy in for free card. So I've been going with him every night. And, you know, I will say, you know, we're getting good workouts, but Planet Fitness doesn't really have everything we need to do. Like one thing that I noticed is they didn't have anything for calves, which I had to kind of improvise on that. But Craig's gym has everything. And Craig knows what he's doing because he's been doing it for a while. So the things that I don't really know what I'm doing, I look them up on YouTube, like, because Brian Turner has a like whole workout plan. So I just look them up, and I'm like, all right, this is what we're supposed to be doing, kind of thing. So I don't know. October Faction. It sounds familiar. Let me look it up. I don't think so. No, I haven't seen that. You know, I just finished a documentary last night. It was pretty disturbing. It was Gabriel Fernandez. So, and then I had like a weird dream about it. Oh, I mean, if you guys want to, I can close the video out with my Lord of the Rings story if you guys want to hear that. I'm a big fan of Lord of the Rings as well. All right, I'm just going to tell that. So, Lord of the Rings, yes. I got really excited every time they came out with a new Lord of the Rings, to the point where like I would stay up all night, and I would wait for it to come out, and we would go to the movie theater and, you know, be the first in line and watch it. And let's see, when the Two Towers came out, I lived in New York City. Let me just fact check that. I think it was the Two Towers that this happened in. Yes, it was 2002. I lived in New York City, and I lived on the Upper West Side, and I would go to movies as often as I could because I wasn't very social, so I didn't get out. You know, I love visiting the city, but I hated living in the city. I lived there because I was going to college. I was going to school there. So during that time, Lord of the Rings is so boring. Do you not want me to tell the story? Okay. They are very long. You're right. You're right. Okay. Sidetracked here. So I went to, I forget the name of the theater, but I went, you know, downtown a little bit, and there was a theater kind of, I think it was either Broadway or Columbus, and we got there early. It was an IMAX theater, and we were the first ones in line. But we were standing in the wrong line, so somebody else got there and stood in the right line, and I'm like, well, I guess that's fine. We'll be the second in line, even though we've been here like an hour before them. So we're standing there second in line. It opens up. We get the best seat there because we were the first ones in there. And to me, the best seat is in the very, very back. I hate when there's people behind me. I hated being in school when there's people behind me. I hate being in movie theaters when there's people behind. I don't know why. I don't like it. So I like to be in the very back. I was in the middle, in the very back. So I'm like, hey, we're good. We got a good seat. And then everybody else got in the theater. And then it just kind of like, it was supposed to start, but it didn't start. Everybody's like, when's this movie going to start? When's this movie going to start? And then all of the actors from the movie come out on stage as a big surprise to us. I mean, not all of the actors, but Elijah Wood, Dominic Monaghan, and a few other ones. They were all there, and Elijah Wood was talking to us all, answering questions, and I'm like, this is awesome. Like, you know, people are asking him questions and he's answering, and it was all cool. And then this one jerk in the crowd says, hey, I got a question. And he's like, oh yeah, what's your question? And he's like, when do we get to actually watch this movie? And and then Elijah Wood goes, oh, well, F me. Boom, drops the mic, walks right off the stage. And we're like, dude, you suck. And then the movie started. But it was still pretty cool that we got to see them. I think everybody hated that guy by that point, but it was fun. Quick story, this isn't as long, but when I went to see The Three Kings, isn't that what it's called? The Three Kings? No, wait, The King. The Return of the King, not The Three Kings. The Return of the King. So when we went to see that one, that was one of the times that I'm so excited I can't even go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I waited the next day. I'm like, yeah, we get in the movie theater. I'm like, awesome, let's go. The movie starts and I'm like, fell asleep. Not because the movie was boring, but because I was exhausted. I had been up for like 24 hours. I pulled a big Josh Vegan. I I don't think I've ever seen The River's Edge. Yeah, we got another. Yeah, Lean and Logical doesn't like people behind. I don't either. And like for me, when I was in high school and stuff, I didn't like when the teachers were like so like they wouldn't let us sit wherever we wanted. They assigned our seats. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not going to do good in this class. And it was kind of like, I don't know, a form of like um just being rebellious, because I'm like, I'm not comfortable unless I'm in the back. You want me in the front because you think I'm going to learn better. I can learn better if I'm in the back because I'm more relaxed and I can listen better and pay attention better. But if you got me in the front, I'm not thinking about what the teacher's saying. I'm thinking about everybody behind me. And that's how I was. Like, like all these people are behind me. What are they doing? But if I'm in the back, I'm like, all right, I'm relaxed. Captain Marvel, the worst movie I've seen. Well, I would say the worst movie I've seen. It's called The Iron Man. Was that the right one? Wait, is that? Hold on. That might not be what it's called. Yeah, The Iron Man. And it's not Iron Man from Marvel. It's The Iron Man. It's called Tetsuo. It was... No, never. I would never. I don't even know why it's a movie. It's so bad. But also, let's see, movies that I didn't. I really hated Chelsea Walls. I'm like, Ethan Hawke, man, I like you as an actor, but I don't like your movie. Yeah, and I actually walked out of The Cable Guy. Ooh, pizza arrived. What kind of pizza? What kind of pizza did you get, Jorge? No, the Iron Giant. So the Iron Giant. Okay, so I have a friend, the guy that was narrating with me in my Carl Sagan video, and he knows that E.T. is my favorite movie. He's like, I really want you to watch the Iron Giant, and I'm like, okay, cool, but I can't find it anywhere. It's not on the Disney Channel. It's not on Netflix, Hulu, Amazon. I can't find it anywhere, and I couldn't download it either. So he's like, well, you can rent it from like a library or something. I'm like, I don't have a DVD player, and so I really want to watch the Iron Giant, but I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, he tells me that I really need to see it. And Mac and Me is not as good as E.T. Mac and Me sucked. Mac and Me was like a ripoff, trying to ride on the coattails of E.T. Like, hey, we can do another one of those. Nope. Oh, I actually really like Pitch Black. Yeah, that was a good movie. You guys are making me hungry now. Literally, all I had today was that spoonful right there. Um, Gotta go make some food. I guess this looks like a good spot to see what happens. Is somebody asks like a question that like sparks my brain to explode with things to say, and like I don't shut up. Try watching stock options. Well, I don't know if I can actually make dinner. I got to go straight to my breakfast. Well, I do the intermittent fasting, but I got kind of busy today, and then I had to do this live stream, so I didn't make anything before. Thought I would just go on. I'm not like starving myself or not eating. It's a little bit late. But there's nothing wrong with intermittent fasting. You love when I talk tons. All right, well, I'll take that into consideration, and I'll try to talk more, unlike, live streams where I'm just sitting here like, what else? All right, so I really do want to see the Iron Giant though, because everybody says it's really good, and I just one of those movies I never saw. Do I eat Twizzlers? No. Have I seen Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind? No, I haven't. I haven't watched any animated. Well, is that like an anime? It's been a long time since I've watched anime. Or like a really, really, really long time. But the ones that I liked back in the day, I think my favorite one was Grave of the Fireflies. Grave of the Fireflies. Then there was Princess Mononoke, and what was that other one that everybody loved back then? I don't know if it was like a classic back then, so I don't know if people are still raving about it, but why can't I think of it? Probably because I left it out of my mind for years and years. By the way, look it up. It's not the Iron Man that you think. I love the Marvel Iron Man. This is like, it's black and white, and it's just a bunch of animated like iron just wrapping everywhere. It's just like, it really messes with your mind. I don't like it. While I have people on here, because I Spirited Away that's not the one, but what is it? It's if anybody knows, it was very I don't know anything about anime these days, so I don't know. It's like at the tip of my tongue, and I can't. No, it was way before those. It was before Princess Mononoke. It was before Grave of the Fireflies. It was Akira. There, hey, you said it right when I said it too. Akira. Yeah, so that's it. Have a good night, Gomez. Thanks for watching. Iron Man. What else was I? Castlevania. Yeah, I heard. I was going to watch. I never watched it though, but I used to play Castlevania on Nintendo. Delete Lucy's comment. Why? Akira? Why? Lucy got it right. But yeah, I haven't watched any anime since then. I had a thought and it left my brain, so I'm trying to remember what I was about to say. I don't think. I don't know. I like these streams though because we can talk about whatever. It's not just zombies or vegan. It's whatever you want to talk about. Okay, so the creator. So yeah. So was that before or after Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away? Oh, it's from the early 80's. Okay, so it's before that. Oh, he doesn't want Lucy to be right first. Okay. Well, then you need a direct connection to my brain if you want to get the answers right first. Do I meditate or yoga? I don't. No. No, I haven't seen Parasite. I've heard about it. Should I watch it? Do I talk to my family every day? No. No, there's times when I don't talk or see them for a while. In fact, I think it's funny because I've just always been one to get up and leave and do things ever since I was like 18 when I went hitchhiking and left them a note saying, I'm going to wherever I end up and I'll be back whenever I come back. They kept the note. They still have it. But I remember a couple years ago I went out to California for like a month. And I was joking. I was like, I could probably die. I could probably die somewhere and, be in a ditch rotting away, and nobody would know. My parents, nobody would know for like a long time that I'm dead, because it took my mom. Like she didn't know I went to California. I didn't tell her I went to California. And I think she ended up texting me like 3.5 weeks later, and I'm like, oh, hi, Mom. I'm in California. Like, she didn't check up on me for a long time. Which is the complete opposite of when I was younger. When I was younger, like, it was strict. Everything was like, I wasn't allowed to do a lot of things. Like, she always had to know what I was doing, and crazy. So, would I ever get my hair braided? Sure, yeah, I've got my hair braided before. It's rare, but sometimes I'll braid it just to get it out of my face. But also, my friend braided it into like Viking braids. Like, she really liked the show Vikings. Of course, her husband is Icelandic, so she braided my hair like a Viking. So it was all crazy Viking braids. It looked kind of cool. I left it like that for like 7 minutes. No, maybe a little bit longer, but still. I also ran away from home as a teenager. In fact, that's how my relationship with my parents got really, really good. I've always had a good relationship. I'm like really, really good with my family. My parents are great. But there was a time when I was younger where they were a little bit too strict. And, I always loved my parents. I was, I grew up with loving parents and stuff, but like there was a time when they were like just way too strict, and I ran away. I did start to watch the new Dark Crystal series. I couldn't get into it like I did in the original. I love the original, and there's just something about it. I only watched one episode, so I was hoping that I could get more into it. Maybe I'll try it again. Yes, running away made me closer. In fact. Yeah, I don't talk to them every day. In fact, I did go over there a few nights ago to pick up my Vegan Cuts box. And before that, I don't think I had seen them for like a week or two before that. So I know it seems like I'm always with them, but I'm not. I live about 35, 40 minutes away from them. So I don't always go over there, and I don't always call them. But if I have a question or I need to talk to them, I'll give them a call or I'll text them. My dad doesn't have the text or anything, so like I got to actually call the house phone for that. But my mom is always on her phone, so I can just text her. Where did I go? Okay, so when I was 17, I was hanging out with my one best friend that I've told you about many. We went vegetarian on the same day and that kind of stuff. And I remember, I was always like in trouble. I was always grounded, even though I was a good kid and I never really got into trouble. But with my parents, not so much my dad, but my mom, I was grounded. I was grounded for keep it up. You'll be grounded for a week, bud. Okay, make it 2 weeks. Like that was my mom. Well, I forgot what the argument was, but this sounds bad, but it brought us way closer together because I was very sheltered, and I'm the oldest, so I kind of went through it all, and I kind of paved a path for my younger brothers and sister because my parents weren't as strict with them as they were for me. I guess that's normal because when you're a parent, you've never done it before. You're a parent for the first time, and I'm the oldest. So as I do these certain things, and I become 16, I become 17, 18, and all these different things, they've never experienced that before until they do, which I'm the first one that they're going to experience that with, all those times. Like, I don't think they wanted me to get my license. And I'm like, well, I'm over 16. I'm actually 17, and you're not even going to take me to get my permit. Like, we were arguing. That might have been the reason why we were arguing, but for whatever reason, like, I was really mad. I'm standing in the kitchen, and my mom was in the living room, and she's yelling at me, and I go, F you. And she's like, you're grounded for a week, bud, and you keep it up. And she goes, you keep it up, you're going to make it longer. And I'm like, and I said it again, and it sounds bad, like, I mean, whatever, but like I said, it brought us closer together. I said it to her again. I go, F you. And she's like, all right, make it 2 weeks. Do you want to make it a month? She goes, you're going to find all of your belongings out on the front yard. And I'm like, good, put them on the front yard because that'll help me get out of here faster. And she said, you're grounded for 3 weeks. And I said, you know what? I'm out of here. And I grabbed my stuff and I moved out. I moved in with my friend. And, instead of taking the bus to school, he had a car. We drove to school. I drove to school with him all the time. And I stayed at his house for the next 3 months. I didn't talk to my parents. Again, this is before the time of cell phones and everything. So my mom couldn't just text me. She couldn't just call me on a cell phone. She had to wait for me to, and I ended up coming back home to do my laundry. Not too often, but once in a while in those 3 or 4 months, I would come home to do my laundry. But the thing is after that, they kind of got the hint that they couldn't really just tell me what to do anymore. And they were a little bit more lenient with me. And during that time, I went out and I got my, I think I did get my permit with my dad, but they never let me get my license. So I went out with a friend who had a license that was the same age as me, and because you got to be accompanied with somebody else, and I went and I got my license then. So that's what I did. I went and got my license, and I was like, it wasn't even my parents that helped me do that because I don't think they wanted me to like grow up and leave and all that stuff. So she was very protective over me, which is funny because she's nothing like that now. And, I ended up coming back home and, they weren't like that anymore. Like I was never grounded again. She never really told me what I had to do anymore, and things were good. And from then on in, like we've had like a really good relationship. And I think this is funny. I told this in one of my other live streams, but I came home after I had already graduated high school. I still lived with my parents because I didn't feel like going to college right away. I ended up moving on my own with a couple friends down to Florida, but I don't want to get into that right now. It's too long of a story. So while I was still living there after I had already graduated high school, now I'm like, I want to sneak out. Like my friends are out and they want to hang out, and I want to sneak out because I used to like it. Would give me like kind of like a rush to like be able to sneak out of my house. And, I never did anything bad, but I'd sneak out, thinking I was like a ninja and stuff, and then sneak back in. And here I am. I'm like, all right, well, I want to try to do that again. I'm going to sneak out. So I start like walking down the hallway, it's nighttime, I'm walking down the hallway, walking down the stairs to like open the door to go out. And my mom, she's coming upstairs, like, to use the bathroom. And she's like, she's sleepy, just woke up, and she bumps into me, like we were face to face, and she's like, oh, where are you going? I'm like, I was just sneaking out. She's like, why are you sneaking out? Just leave. And then she just went up, and I'm like, oh, it's not the same anymore. Like, so anyway, we've been really, really good ever since. Did I ever apologize? I don't think I apologized for that, but my mom, she knows. She knows that that I'm I didn't mean any of that. And like, she's the best mom ever and all that. Like yeah, we're good. We don't get in fights or anything. Race, you're funny. What's for dinner? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go downstairs and find out. See, earlier I was gonna make myself like a smoothie, but I don't know if I want that anymore. I don't know. I don't know if I have. I had some good ingredients. I made a really nice loaded salad yesterday. It was really good. But yeah, like, you don't realize it when you're a kid like that, but now it's like, I would never want to be without my parents, and that's why I'm always like advocating, like, you guys need to eat better. You need to go vegan. I'll make your food, like, like all that, and my dad just doesn't want to do that. But do I clean my phone after the gym? No, but I don't touch hardly anything at the gym without sanitizing the machine, the things I touch first, before and after, and then wash my hands for a good 20, 30 seconds before I leave. So, like I said, I'm very cognizant of being a germ freak of what I touch. Meaning, if I touch something, like a lot of people don't realize it, but like if I go somewhere, like say I had to go to the mall or something, I open a door or something. First of all, I try to open the door at the least touched place that people saw. I think like if there's a door handle, most people grab it here or up at the top, but not many people grab it like underneath there. So that's where I try to grab it. So if I have to grab it in the first place, if I can just wedge it open with my foot, that's even better. Or if I can use a piece of my hoodie to grab it and pull it open, that's even better. So if I do touch something, I know in my brain it's like a check mark goes up. It's like a flag goes up. It's like, boom, you touched something with your right hand. So I know it. Even if it's like an hour later, I know that I touched something with my right hand, meaning I won't touch my face. I won't, like if I have an itch on my face, and if somebody's around me or with me, they can see me do it, because if I've already touched something, I already know I can't touch my face with that hand. I got an itch on my face, so I'll go like this with my, like, I'll be wearing a hoodie or something. I'll be like itching my face. I won't like some people do. So like, yeah, I think I'm pretty good at that. And yeah. Okay, so all right, guys. Well, this has been a nice stream. I like answering questions for you guys, telling you stories. Ask me any questions when we're on here, and I'm gonna get going now. You guys are making me very hungry. So thanks for watching, and I'm gonna get going to edit some videos, because I'm trying to edit one for Josh, but also I have a video that's supposed to drop tomorrow, and I'm not even sure what I'm gonna edit, but I have a few things. So have a good night, everybody, and thanks for watching.